In this third screencast, I'm going to show you how to access all the problems and associated solutions from within the Blackboard Learn site. Having logged in, access the course documents link on the left hand side. Then if I select the Problems and Revision Advice folder, you'll see a series of items here. The last one of which is a link to a PDF file describing what you should do to revise for the examination in the summer. That's a long way off, so I won't look at that now. Above this, you'll see at the top a guide for the individual problems and associated solutions and files which you can browse. The second item is just a PDF file of all the problems, and then associated with that are a series of other PDF or Beamer files which are all accessible directly from Blackboard Learn, but the associated hyperlinks won't be. If you want those as well, I advise you to scroll down to the bottom here and extract all the files within this corresponding zip file by saving it, right clicking onto your desktop. So I'm just going to do that now and save. And that's now all done. So I'll just minimize this window, and somewhere in your desktop should be the material for all the problems. So that's this file here. If I right click and extract them all again into a folder, then we can see all of the files. Again, there are the 5 PDF files, one of which is the Beamer file, together with the files for problems. I double click that. There are 463 items in there. So go back to the main folder, and now you can access each of the files that are on Blackboard and also access each of the links. So the revision advice file is at the bottom, which I said we wouldn't look at. The problems, if I open that, you can see the series of problems which I will get you to take away and do, or we'll perhaps go through some of them in the class. The other files that are on this list are the problems with figures. If I open that, you will see associated with each problem a figure that's been drawn. What that means is that if you're trying to do a particular problem and you're not quite sure what diagram to draw to associate with that, you can look in this file and it will give you a clue as what you have to do. So you can see in each of these problems there is an associated figure with at least a start for the solution. The remaining 2 files on here, each of which can comprise an indication of how you solve the problem, or in particular in the first one, the solution with links. If I double click that, you will see all the problems together with the solutions and figures, again for which there's a series of hyperlinks to either Shockwave or GeoGebra files. I'm going to close that and open it again in Adobe Reader rather than Acrobat, because then I have a better chance of accessing all of the files. So again, you see that this problems with solutions and links has the problem together with a brief solution and the associated figures. So let's suppose, for example, I scroll down to a page right towards the end. Let's take this one for example. So if you scroll down to page 27, then there are two links there. The Shockwave file, which again, if you've downloaded Flash and if you associate with these Flash files Internet Explorer, then if I click that then and answer the questions in the affirmative,
we have here the points P,
you can access the file. So there is a description of the problem in Shockwave. Here is a description of the problem in GeoGebra. I'll just open all that, do that again. So I'm interested in opening the problem. And there you have it. And in particular, what you can do, even from this file, is to take the point P and select that and move that round, and you'll see that the solution of the problem, which is a locus, is already etched out. Indeed, if I right click that and put the animation on, it will give me the complete solution. So at least, yeah, you can illustrate the solution to the problem. Just going to close that. I'm not going to save. And I'll close that and close that. If I scroll down a little further, the solution of the problem again is immediately accessible from the Shockwave file. So here we are. If I click this and allow and answer in the affirmative,
we have here the points P,
you'll also get a description of the problem and its solution.
Y squared equal to 4ax.
Lastly, the GeoGebra file. Select the right file, and again within GeoGebra you'll see that a similar file opens, and again you can play around with that to find the solution of the problem. So I'll close all of those. Lastly, within this folder you'll see there's a solution with links which is called a Beamer file, and if I open that in Adobe Reader and click Ctrl L, you'll see that this is a series of the same problems and a start to the solution by way of a figure that I will be using in class. Again, you can access this outside of the lecture so long as you've downloaded the file. So if I scroll forward, for example, there's example 1, and then there's an associated solution figure, and again associated Shockwave files and GeoGebra files. So if I scroll much further forward, say to example let's say example 23. So example 23 is described. There's an associated Shockwave file and a GeoGebra file and some pictorial description, and then the solution, again the associated Shockwave file are accessible and the GeoGebra file, but in particular the locus, which is the solution, is shown. So if I click the Shockwave file and again allow, it should open.
We have here 2 points.
And then the GeoGebra file again should work. Clicking on here, the point P, trace on, show animation, you'll find that the locus will be described. I'll close that, don't save, close all these, escape, close that, and you're back to the beginning. So if you follow those simple instructions, you should be able to access all the material for the lecture course.